Aston Villa managed to secure back-to-back league victories this week, beating Brentford 3-1 on Wednesday and then defeating struggling Southampton 1-0 at Villa Park today. It was not a classic, and I don't think anyone could really expect that because of the adverse weather conditions today. Obviously 60-mile-an-hour winds, it's particularly there were rain all game, so it didn't make for the best match. But to be fair, Villa could have scored certainly more goals than they did, possibly 3 or 4. They could have scored 5 or 6 against Brentford. So firstly, I think it's really positive that Villa are starting to put a bit of form together at home. They've only lost to Arsenal, I think, in their last 13 league matches, if I'm not mistaken, but they've only won, I think, 6 of those. So turning those draws into wins will obviously be beneficial at the start of the season. Villa nearly drew against Everton, nearly drew against Wolves. John Duran's goals have helped them through that period at the start. Sorry about the wind, probably not the best idea to do this video outside. But Duran coming up again to score for Villa, a winning goal again. He started ahead of Ollie Watkins. I can't say I was massively shocked, to be honest. Not because of Watkins' performance levels, but because Villa have to rotate this team. And they have lots of games coming up. Forest away next weekend is going to be a very difficult game. They've just beaten Man United away for the first time in, I think, 30 years in the league. And they're above Villa, so that'll be a big game. They're all big games at the moment. But obviously Leipzig on Tuesday, that's going to come around very quickly. The squad will travel over to Germany on Monday. Tomorrow they'll probably go in for a recovery session, I presume. So all the games will come thick and fast. So yeah, no shock to see Emery make 4 changes. Luke Dean dropping out as well for Maatsen. That was an obvious change as well, I thought. Pau Torres also coming in for Mings. Again, not shocked at that one. Cash not starting. I was a bit surprised to see Carlos come in, and maybe that's because Cash has had a few injuries at the start of the season. Emery doesn't want to play him too much or kind of overload his work, shall I say. And you'd expect him to come in for the Leipzig match on Tuesday and then presumably go in and playing against his old club, Forest, next weekend. Villa were the better side against Southampton for large parts, although Southampton did look dangerous, I'd say, in the final third, but it didn't threaten Villa. I think they feel like they got into good positions but never really pulled the trigger. I don't remember Martinez making a save in the last 2 matches, and he obviously had a hairline fracture last weekend in the Chelsea match, came off. These are the 2 games that he has played through with a bit of pain, and yeah, if you could handpick those matches, it would be against the 2 worst sides away from home. So I think Villa's 2 wins this week, you need to kind of balance it out with that. These 2 sides, Brentford and Southampton, are the worst travellers in the division. However, Brentford are right on Villa's tails now and have the best home record and have scored lots of goals, beat Newcastle today 4-2. However, what you would say about their away record is that they've played lots of good sides. I think they've played Liverpool, others as well, can't think off the top of my head. Villa are obviously in that too, so their away record is always it's not going to be as good as the home record if they're playing harder teams. That goes without saying. But Southampton, we know that they're going to struggle this season and will probably get relegated, certainly in the way that they're playing. They essentially helped Villa score the first goal. Harwood Bellis not necessarily overplaying, but not putting it into Rosed and allowing Duran to tackle him. Not allowing him, but giving Duran the opportunity to tackle him. Duran then going through and converting past Joe Lumley. That came just a minute before Southampton gave Villa the opportunity to open the scoring anyway. Lumley giving the ball away, Kamara nipping in. I think it was Duran who had a shot. I'm not sure if he was offside or not. There weren't any replays where I was. That was blocked. Then McGinn's effort blocked as well. McGinn had a chance at the very end of the game, towards the end of the game, to make it 2-0. That came after and before more chances for Villa to extend their lead. And it's a shame really, because if you look at the goal difference to Villa, if they scored 2 more goals today, which they certainly could have, I think they would go above Forest, even if they scored 1 more goal potentially. I'm not too sure. But goal differences was an opportunity for Villa to kind of push ahead with that, because they started the day on minus, I believe. But the main thing is 3 points, and I think in a game like this especially, having John McGinn and Boubacar Kamara playing to a very high level, you've always got a strong chance of winning it, because they were scrapping. John McGinn really liked his performance, closer to Ollie Watkins. He allowed Villa to kind of absorb so there's no pressure, but taking the ball in moments where Villa needed a bit of an outlet, the amount of free kicks he won in those positions really helped Villa and allowed them to push up the field, because we all know that Southampton like to keep the ball but also win it back as quickly as they possibly can. So McGinn was crucial in that aspect, and the first aspect we just spoke about there, Southampton trying to play with it and progress when possible. Kamara shut a lot of attacks down and put fires out that you can't really appreciate until you see little compilations of him after the match. I'm sure he'll have a good 5 minutes or so. Getting his foot in, using the ball really well too. So Kamara was my man of the match. McGinn a close second, and the rest of the team, the defenders kind of coming out on top and their ratings as such, because Villa did keep a clean sheet. And again, although it was against the Southampton side who are they are struggling to score goals, struggling to make chances as well. I think in the first 5 away league games this season, they've only managed... in the away league games they've played so far this season, they've only had 5 shots on target before they played Villa in the first half of matches. Really badly worded, but you get my drift. I don't think they had a shot on target in the first half. They might not even have had a shot on target all game. So that proves kind of what standard Villa came up against. But they had to beat the team that was in front of them. Did the same on a Wednesday night. Now they go into a game against RB Leipzig. Leipzig side who are doing well in the Bundesliga, as you'd expect, but have struggled massively in the Champions League so far. Really, they have to beat Villa to boost their chance of actually staying in the competition and getting one of those playoff positions. So it will be a tough game. That's obviously to be expected, and this is the point in which the league phase, it really does start to come together. Villa, if they can go there and get a win, it puts them in a really strong position to get one of those top 8 positions. They can get something at Monaco and round it all off with a victory against Celtic. That should be enough then. If they don't get the win against Leipzig, then changes the picture a little bit, makes it a bit more open. They'd probably have to go to Monaco and win and then beat Celtic to have a chance of top 8. We'll see how that looks, and I won't go into that too much yet. I will be in Leipzig on Monday for the press conferences, Leipzig and Villa's, out the training ground and stadium. We'll get words from Unai Emery and a player, maybe an update on Leon Bailey as well, just as kind of a side point to the game. I think it's actually a big blow for Villa to lose Leon Bailey for any period of time, whether it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks or 1 week, like Emery said. Not quite an accurate time frame, he said, Emery, after the match, literally 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, but it sounds like it's nothing too serious, and I think that's the positive news. He could miss quite a few games. If it's 3 weeks, I think that would be like 3 or 4 matches off the top of my head, which would be a blow, because I don't think Villa have a like-for-like replacement for Bailey. Jadon Philogene has his own skill set, and he's a very promising player, really exciting. He's kind of growing into it a bit at the moment, you feel, at the start of the season, which is fine, but a very different player stylistically, in my opinion, to Bailey. He prefers to play it on the left as well, Philogene. So while Villa don't have Ramsey at the moment either, it's not like you can put McGinn on the right and then it's an easy slot for Ramsey and Rodgers on the other side. So it'll be interesting to see what Emery does there. That is a blow for Villa. Hopefully not out for long, Bailey, and he's kind of come off at the right time as such, and he hasn't caused any real damage. Instead, it's more of a strain than anything serious, and that is what they're looking at the moment. Hopefully a couple of weeks, nothing more, maybe less. We'll find out. Hopefully, as I say, an update on him on Tuesday. Leipzig, then Forest, then City, then Boxing Day is Newcastle away, Leicester to come after Brighton, then it's an FA Cup fixture. So Villa looking in a good spot at the moment, considering their poor form. They didn't lose any ground. They've made it up on some teams now with a couple of wins in a week. Looking pretty positive. Performances, for me, the results are more important in this week. Performances now, we'll have to see a bit more to get those results we've just seen, 2 wins in a week. They'll have to play better, I think, to get something out of Forest, City and Newcastle, as I say too. So big games coming up, but Villa have put themselves in a good position to attack them.